Okay, I think I'm alive. I'm alive. Am I alive? I'm alive. Yes, I'm alive. May not be real because I am in Australia and that doesn't exist, but I am alive. Hello, everybody. Okay, well, for those of you who joined in earlier today, there was the laptop that had the weird oily liquid damage, and we fixed up what was actually wrong, the fuse and the backlight driver and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so it went through cleanup in the ultrasonic and everything went nicely. I tested it, and unfortunately, it seems, I'll just boot this up, it would appear that SD cards don't work, which is not that surprising because you'll remember that there was a lot of that corrosion up in the top right corner of the board, and of course that's naturally where the solid SD card controller electronics are. I did clean up a few things. I fixed up a couple of things up there when I was just doing my post ultrasonic sort of inspection. But unfortunately it seems like there's something else wrong. So first guess will probably be the controller chip itself. Second guess will be one of the traces, or one of the pull-ups is a bit dodgy. Andrew, good. So you'll be ready to roll. Come on, hurry up. But yeah, this SD card contains a Mac OS system on it, so it should show up. Like I've got Mac OS USB that you can't see, Mac OS USB here, which is that stick. And this, you watch, it's going to work now. I'm going to plug it in. Nothing. Nothing at all. So, as feared, I'm going to have to pull this thing apart and see what's going on. At least everything else is good. Would have been nice to have had this on a one-day turnaround. I came in this morning, get it fixed, ship it out this afternoon, but alas, no such joy. Just waiting for this to shut down properly. Did I alert Jim? It's a little late for Jim, but now I will. Because he's on daylight savings now as well. Pardon me. Bit of a tickle in the old throat. Jim should give out his phone number to other people so they can message him. Alright. Fortunately I didn't put all the screws back in this one. I only just put enough in to hold it together. And that's it. I had a feeling something, given the amount of liquid damage on it, I was thinking there's possibly going to be something else amiss. To be fair, I was maybe hoping it'd be Wi-Fi or something that's a little easier to fix. There's no pull tab on that battery connector. Yeah, that's kind of weird. What? Different battery. Sorry, don't mind me, just... Okay. Hey, Barry. So the area of interest is, we'll have a look, see if the camera actually plays ball. Yes, it is. Okay, so this is the area of interest. It looks like a dodgy bit of solder there. Yeah, you can see I had to fix that trace. That's, I think, the clock or data. I can't remember which one, but anyway, it's needed. But I would say perhaps the chip's a bit dodgy. We'll check the I2Cs. We'll clean up that cap too. Yeah. Just can't always have a win, can you? At least not a full win. Funnily enough, the thing that irritates me the most is the fact that I'm probably going to have to ultrasonic this again. Ultrasonicking is so much of a pain that it compels me to invent a machine that will do it all for me as much as possible. Kind of like those, you ever seen donut making machines? Like where they have the very slow moving metal conveyor, chain link conveyor going through the vat of hot oil. I want something like that for the ultrasonic cleaner. So I just have this very slow moving conveyor, and then it, after 5 minutes or whatever, it flips the board over, and then after that it flips it into the distilled water ready for me to collect. It's totally something I would do. Spend many tens of hours, days, weeks maybe, conjuring up a solution just for myself for doing 2 or 3 boards a week. Actually, it's more like 2 a day, but anyway. Sheep dip ultrasonic. Sounds good. Isn't that more Sod's Law, Wayne? Or Murphy's Law? Okay, I'm not even going to try and diagnose, test this chip. I'm just going to replace the chip. You'll probably get decent amounts of red blood coming out of it. It's an awkward position. Very easy to melt this. Like, I've had it shielded before and it's already got a bit of a melt effect on it. To make a specialized tool here. Should be able to do it. Clip that off. That can stay. I'm using the wrong implement for this. Right, here we go. It's not quite a proper sheet metal press or guillotine tool, but this will work. And just lift it up about 2 thou. Now I need a hammer. Proper hammer. Damn it. I do. Okay, and now the next bit, which is the fun bit. Mongrel. Damn it. I need a wider draw option. This will have to do. This is not really the way I wanted it to go, but it'll do the job. And these are not tin snips. As such, you cannot actually... Damn it. Pair of scissors. Surgical scissors. Should be able to just get through them. Yep. Whenever I handle sheet metal like this, it takes me back to a video I saw of this French chap, and he was creating his own valves. And there's one particular part in it, and he's got an old pocket knife, a Swiss pocket knife, and he just pops it out and he just hand cuts the strips of metal for the valve internal assembly. I can't remember the name of the video, but it was a very enjoyable video. I think I've watched it a few too many times. But it was nice to see the video because it sort of showed all the hand manufacturing processes and little custom jigs that he's made, and custom tools to do all the different tricks for his limited edition handmade valves. Kind of like the modern version is the guy in Russia that does, or the Ukraine or somewhere like that does his own Nixie tubes. Same sort of process. They can build a real light-saving, build automatic ultrasonic. Yeah, well, I saw that lightsaber. That's not real. I like how they conveniently cropped off the video up the top where the flame starts to just separate out. But for the thumbnail, that was very effective. Look, a real lightsaber. It's like, yeah, not quite. I should probably check the I2C resistors and stuff like that while it's off, just to be sure. That's a stubborn chip. Yeah, I don't know what to say about you thinking that Wookiees are real. It's going to be a hard conversation one of these days. Hey Max. Yeah, I don't do a lot of sheet metal work, but when I do, I always do it badly. With all the wrong tools. So let's get a schematic. Actually, let's get a four-ways view. There we go, four-way view. What does that chip do? 4590. Oh, I was gonna say, couldn't see what could possibly be using that chip, and now I see it's a non-existent chip. Clearly it was testing. Okay, so we've got a clock. Could also be, what's this, U40? Oh, it could also be this down here. But to be fair, you look pretty damn good condition to me. You see how the board came up quite nicely after the ultrasonic. So this is all the area that we flooded with flux before. And this is the area that was looking really like nasty. And this is the 3V42 area after I sort of drowned it. Those cap ends look a bit nasty, but I've scratched a few of them back and they're okay. It's just the oxidized lead. But yeah, the ultrasonic does a pretty good job. Anyway, back to the point. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Let's check these resistors while we're at it. Okay, 3K3. That's bang on. 1616 is 100K. What are you, a pull up? Yep. Close enough. We'll go over here. I'm not sure why that's even present. They say it's a no stuff. What was it doing on this board? That's kind of what... It's a little bit strange when you get a no stuff that's present on the board. And it is 3K. And it makes sense that it'd be a no stuff because it's basically going to nowhere. Now these here would make me think these are capacitively coupled data lines. Just make sure we get open. Just make sure I've actually got continuity on both ends. Yeah, we do. Yep. What's this resistor down here? $680 SDR term, some termination. And that's about right, 0.65, yep. Okay, so what about these ones up here? Okay, these are the... Okay, so that should be 0. Zero. Make sure I do actually have continuity up to here. I do. I'm gonna guess the same for this. It is. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yep. I don't know what these two chunkers are for. So 4481 is another 0. It's a pretty big 0. It's a 0. 4480, another 0. So these are fuses that are more likely to blow than the actual fuses. And we'll just check these guys down here. I don't have any specific reason for checking them, other than the fact that I'm just doing it for the sake of... It's a little jumpy, but that is about right. It's jumpy because I'm on 500k range, and so at 500k, 33 ohms is very much down at the bottom of its... It's sort of down in the noise level. Okay, that's good. And what's this last one? It's also a 0. Okay, so all the resistors and everything check out. Hey NL, how's it going? So we'll put a replacement chip on there, see how it goes. Hope we get lucky. Put the board into a vertical orientation, which according to some people never happens, but clearly it does. Let's see, since I've got the micro pencil, I'm just going to preheat the area a bit again. Ah, crud. I would sooner say that the fault was the controller on the basis of the fact that there was a lot of corrosion around here, so it likely took some hits. I hate it when this sort of trash happens. Okay, that pin there's actually looking a little bit dodgy. I'm going to bring us back up to microscope view. Yeah, it's not even a connected pin anyway. It's an NC. There was a lot of liquid damage on this one, so that's why I'm actually looking at this. Before it went into the ultrasonic clean, if you were here for the earlier stream, you would have seen that it was quite a mess. And there was the old red board blood coming out. Otherwise, if it was this clean, when it originally came in, then no, I wouldn't be searching around here for the fault. Instead, I'd be busy trying to pull off this piece of damn wick that I was stupid enough to put on there. I don't want to squeeze that out. Might have to hot air wick it. Foolish move. It's okay. That's what we've got hot air wicking for. I really didn't want to pick that up. I barely touched it at all. Time to get ourselves a replacement. Seen better wick used by North. Yeah, this is actually a really good wick, this tech spray. But for whatever reason, it didn't want to take that solder away. That's, I got nasty flux all over my fingertips now. That's just nasty. Honestly, that looks like Shrek had a sneeze on me. Gross. They're nasty. Northbridge uses thicker wicks. No, it's Northridge. What? Northridge or Northbridge? What? Ah, forget it. I don't care enough. Okay, I wonder when that bridge appeared. Any idea when that bridge appeared? Was it just now? I think it might have been. Crikey, that's hot. Shoot. That is actually a surprisingly difficult chip to get down properly. It wouldn't have mattered if they were bridged anywhere, they are on track. The prudent thing for me to do here is to check those pins, make sure that we don't have any shorts. It looks like the spacing of the pins tends to prevent shorts happening too easily. It's not my best soldering job, I gotta tell you, but I'm kind of hoping it will work. Sometimes you gotta accept that good enough might be okay. It's gonna suck to redo this board. I wonder if I can wash it off. Okay, well I can actually test this. Yeah, I might actually put it in the chassis. It's clean on the underside. I'll see what I can wash off. Scope cam frozen again. Delightful. Let me see if I can fix that. It's done its thing where Open Broadcaster loses its mind. Yeah, let's see if I can do this quickly so we don't lose the stream. Alright, I think we're good. Thankfully, we did not lose it that time. Sometimes what happens is Open Broadcaster just loses its head. Not open. Yeah, Open Broadcaster loses ahead with the cameras, and then if it's really, really lost it will prevent me from restarting Open Broadcaster properly, and it takes long enough that YouTube suddenly decides, oh, Paul stopped streaming. I'm going to terminate his session. Whereas the way it used to work is that you had to explicitly, in the YouTube control panel, you had to explicitly end the stream, which resulted in a few situations, like you remember with the likes of, say, Lewis, where the stream would keep going even though he thought he had finished it. So I guess YouTube's sort of deciding that the lesser evil in this case is to have people's streams get broken in half rather than having never-ending streams. Well, that's not a lot of the flux gone, but at least it's the worst of the flux off there. Oh. Wayne, who are you talking about? With regards to doing things differently to, say, Lewis and Jessa. Tell you one person we haven't heard from for a while, and I think needs to get their butt kicked, is Jason Vollmer, STS Techno guy. I haven't seen him do an iPhone video in eons. I think it's downright slack of him, and rather, well, is being very offensive, not thinking about his YouTube followers. How dare he? Oh, Alex from Northridge, right. Okay, so it is Northridge. Okay. As opposed to Northbridge being the Intel, part of the Intel chipset series. Jolly good. Now, I think if this is going to work, I should be able to plug this in, press the option button, and hopefully it will show me a Mac boot option. Being at 3437, I'm going to scratch my nose first and dawdle around as it does its stop start stuff. I think with Jason, he's been very busy, and also it just hasn't been conducive for him to be able to get out and... Oh man, you're gonna do this to me? No, didn't bring it up. Oh crikey. Careful, Paul. Can't plug it in there. No videos from Jason, Chris or Jessa, yeah. Well, I know Chris has been busy with his store. Jessa, I'm not sure what she's been up to, but she has a more, how could you say, stable life, as it were. Those pins look downright perfect, as if they've almost never been used in there, so I cannot blame that. I know you can't see it very clearly because of the glare, but trust me when I tell you that... what am I doing? I'm backed out as far as I can be. There is not one iota of damage in that connector, so it's definitely not the connector at fault. Jessa has her school, yes, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so now we actually have to start using brains, which means that's pretty much my cue to get out of here. To make it easier for me, what I'm going to do is I'll take this board out, I'll plug this in. Scratch my nose. Why, nose? Why? Unbelievable. So infuriating. Anyway, do that and we'll just use an extension lead, and that way we can flip the board up and down so we can test the various points on that SD card. And see what might be going on. We can probably just start out initially, leaving that plugged in, and seeing if we can get any sort of indication that things like, does it even detect that the SD card is in there? Victor, 你好吗? How? And that is the end of my Chinese for tonight. I'm sorry. I've been eating more than I've been learning. I'm a disappointment. Alright, so I'm now looking at the SD card connector. Check a couple of things. Okay. Ooh, someone's fighting back on the renewables page against my statements. It's always fun. That's kind of like my my guilty pleasure at this point, arguing with people on the renewables page. Now, I don't mind people. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I saw Art of Justin's back for Art of Repair. Am I trolling? No, I'm actually doing the opposite. I've kind of gotten sick of the trolls on that sort of department. Yeah, it's mostly because instead of people having a reasonable discussion, they present items that are such extreme points that it's not even relevant to the situation that we are in. And when people start presenting these extreme points as if they're the norm, then I get a little bit irritated and I say, look, I'm in a fairly moderate position when it comes to this. I understand that we are going to have to, it's a slow phase in, and there are things that we cannot yet replace that we have to hold on to. It's what it is. But then when you get these people that just presenting crazy points of view, you just got to come in and squish them out. Mostly because I used to be of the view that if you had good data, if you had good information, if your research was wholesome, solid, and basically straight out told the story, then that would be all you'd have to do. You just present the data and the analysis, and that would be the end of it. But what I've found over the years is that good data needs a good supporter as well in terms of the people behind it. And I think that's the failure point by a lot of people who are in science and research, is that they feel that, well, I've done all the data work. It says to me that this is what the outcome is. Why doesn't everybody believe in it? It's because you actually have to go out there and you have to support your data. You have to champion your data. Because even if it says what you feel it should say, other people are going to take that and they're going to find corner cases, they're going to go find everything and anything they can and actually turn it back around on you. And that's where we have this deterioration of the respect of the science methodology, because you're getting all these other points of view and they're like taking just little cherry picking things and stuff like that and disproportionately representing it, all that sort of stuff. They're making an absolute disaster of it, and they are doing a better job of that than people who produce the data are doing of presenting it. So anyway, that's basically what I'm doing. I'm going out there and I'm trying to say, I'm sorry, but your interpretation of this data is deliberately incorrect for the sake of the fact that you're trying to make it fit your narrative as opposed to what the data wants to say. And you can just go and shove your little 3-word slogan up where the sun don't shine. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Starting last class. Okay, Zaijian. Thank you, by the way, for dropping in. I appreciate that. And I will try and practice my Chinese, my Mandarin more. Andrew, they do make the most noise, but unfortunately they also have the most influence on a lot of other people, the people who don't know any better, and that's where the problem is. So you get this situation where the people who could have been swayed either way end up being swayed the way you really don't want them to be. And then because they have invested their opinion, they've now got an invested opinion there because they've said, well, I believe it's this, and they go out and actually share it. The more you do that, the more you're invested in that point of view, and for someone to come along and counter that, it becomes a war. So you need to get to them before they overinvest in what basically is the incorrect interpretation of the data, or at least seemingly incorrect. Most of the time it's always really the case of it's these extreme points, and I mean that applies on all political spectrums. I'm not talking left, I'm not talking right, I'm just talking everywhere. There are always the extreme points, and it just seems to be that those are the only two things that get represented. There's this whole middle area, the compromise area, the area of understanding, the area of reality, that just gets turfed out and we end up going nowhere. Anyway, I'm still just rattling around here. We don't know why the SD is not working. We need to fire that up and start probing around like an alien. So I never wanted to get into that sort of thing because, debating was never my strong point. I'd listen too much rather than tell people off. But it has finally started to get to the situation where I feel like enough's enough. We need to actually fight for our data. Okay. First thing I want to do is, does it detect the card? Card detect switch. It's down here. It's on that bottom right pad. So Roy Gordon, unfortunately, sensible discussion, bipartisan type progress, all that sort of stuff, it just gets turfed out the window for political point scoring. Okay, it seems like we're not getting a card detect. Is that supposed to be high or low? Oh, CDL. Okay, so that's the low one. Okay, so it is detecting the card, since it's active low. And then, what have we got going on here? Chicken is cooking, just letting it rest for a bit before making a toasty. Oh, cool, I got a toasty on my way. Yeah. Awesome. Really? How immature am I? And I'll reply back to my wife saying awesome about a toasty. Oh, Mr. CMI Zapper is here. Thank you very much for attending. Yes, I can imagine the USB-C is a tough beast one. And yeah, the corruption factor is certainly bad too. And anyone who says one side is worse than the other really is deluded, because really, if you take any particular hot topic discussion, any forum, and you go into what you know is a left or right, let's just keep it simple, left and right leaning. If you take the topic out and you replace it with just A and B, and you look at the type of comments you see in there, you'll find that both sides are basically mirror copies of each other. You get the same completely stupid, inane type comments on, they just cross over. So you got trolls on all sides. I've never found that one side is any worse than the other. It's just all the extreme morons. They just happen to be, I don't know, wake up one morning, pick a side, and that's it. They're sports supporters. Okay, let's see, 4430, pin 1. We've got power coming in here. This will be upside down, of course. Yep, 3.3. Pin 6 detect. Okay, that's good. Pin 7. Okay, so this is the one we actually want to be high. You're not high. Oh no, you are. SD con connect low. And state change. That will probably only do something, I imagine, when, well, the state changes. Hastra, I mean, I personally don't have a great deal of concern, want to be involved in politics per se. But unfortunately, it is the way of the world, and if you do want to ensure your, how could you say, your future, so to speak, then unfortunately you do have to partake in some level of political involvement. Otherwise, it just sort of tends to just go past, and then after a few years, people go, "Why didn't anyone do anything?" And so, well, that's why. Harold, that would actually be really nice if you could do that. I won't be surprised if it becomes one of those projects that becomes dramatically out of hand. Looks like Paul's cooking the damn machine right now. Okay, is this coil still okay? Nothing on there. That's kind of weird. 62 millivolts. Nothing on there. Well, there are a lot of 0 ohm resistors in that chain there. Something's not getting around somewhere. I don't know what this 60 millivolts crap is. It doesn't seem right to me. But nothing happened there. Okay, so that's a clock line. So card inserted equals ground, so yeah. So what we have here is delay goes into an XOR. It's interesting sort of configuration. A pre-inversion, then a buffering, and then an exit inversion. So that should also be a low. Yeah, okay. And again buffered, so that should be low. We're getting that. Just going to see where else this signal goes. Pin 20. Yes, you appear out of nowhere. Okay, 0. $39. Oh, hello. Alright, that might be our problem. Then we should have 3 volts there. Which I'm pretty damn sure of it. 39, 3v3. And we ain't got squat. Okay, how's that getting supplied there? What about you? We've got 3 volts there. Well, we don't have 3 volts there. I wonder what's happening, folks. What is happening? I already know, but I've got to try and make it sound like it's a mystery. We'll now go for an ad break before we come back, and then we'll just have it from a different angle, me going, what's happening? I don't know. Do you know what's happening? And then we'll go for another ad break, and then we'll go back 5 minutes and we'll recycle over things. This is how you make a 30-minute TV show out of 2 seconds worth of stuff. No, HyperR, I cannot give you a moderator. I can give you a kick though. How's that sound? Toasty break, yeah, that would be awesome. If it gets here in time. Anyway, I do apologise if I seem a little bit erratic today. It's just who I am. Okay, I can... Come on. Wait, no, have I effed up? No, I've effed up. Have I? I think I made a mistake. Big boo-boo. Damn it. I was measuring... I'll show you what my boo-boo was. I'll blame the microscope. I was measuring this, thinking that it was connected to this, and then down to this. But it's not. They are separate lines. And I was thinking that there was a break in here. So there you go. Paul got it wrong again. That's what you get for being too, what's the word? Cocky. But where the hell does that come from? PP3v3 SD-Con, let's have a look for it. That's fun. I can't even find that in the aliases. Ah. Okay, SDC 3v3 SO SD 3v3 SO SD. So again, at page is 33, 34. I'm on 34. Okay, so it must have come from the previous page. Oops. Ah, naturally. Okay, I gotta admit, I'm a little bit stumped here. I'm not quite sure where they're sourcing this 3v3 from. I mean, it's clearly it's going to be coming from like SO, 3v3 SO. But what I can't work out is why I can't, it's not in the aliases list. So I'm going to the aliases. Oh joy, it's not even flipping there. Power rails. Great, I don't have any. It's a marvelous day to be alive, Paul. Let's just go through manually and find them. Probably page 87. I'm starting to wonder, is there a power switch that actually controls that? Which is why it's not coming up. Okay, here we go. So this is your power aliases. Damn it, why didn't I think of that? Create a PDF favorite. Power aliases. There we go. Right, at least I'll find that for next time. Three v three S5. It should be 3v3 SO. And naturally, of course, they don't expand them out. Oh, Pernov's here. It is switched by U4500, 3v3 SOS, switched. Great. Comes from 3v3 SOS switch SD. Possums seemed that they were off their faces on catnip. Ha! Yeah, if only there was catnip around. Okay, so Pernov is saying that it actually comes via the chip itself. Right, so instead of it... Okay, see, I was thinking it was being supplied this, but Pernov is saying it actually generates it. Would have been nice if they had a little arrow out. Interesting, we replaced 4500, but, well, we can do it again. Could also be something else causing the fault. Tim, you really expect me to read stuff? Huh. The SDX card, switch pushed in. I believe it is, yes. When will I have a discount flex board view? I do. It's called Open Board View. I know I sound really nasty when I say that, but unfortunately the reality is Open Board View is a perfectly good working board view program, and if you're not doing board views commercially, say your school or something like that, that's what Open Board View is for. If, however, you do commercial board view development, board view work, repairs, then 139 for Flex Board View. If you can't make 139 on your first board repair, then yeah, sometimes I guess that can happen, but really, it's like, buying a microscope, buying a soldering iron, buying a multimeter. It's just one of those things, and yeah, I don't feel it's justified in a discount at this point, given that we do have Open Board View available. US dollars, I'm in Australia. The reason why it's in US dollars is because obviously I have an international market. In a way, you get a discount by virtue of the fact that the GST becomes inclusive. So rather than GST being added, it's inclusive. So there you go, you get 10% discount. Like I said, I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but if I start giving out discounts, then it's just going to get out of control. And like I said, if you're doing it as a business, then really 139 for a piece of software that saves you so much time on the first job. I don't know what else to say. Like I said, other than just use Open Board View. And Pelnov does a great job of keeping Open Board View all nice and pretty. I've got so much junk on this floor, and I'm getting flustered with this job now. It was supposed to be a nice one-day turnaround. I mean, the customer wasn't expecting it one day, but I was. I mean, I would love to get discounts on the bank and everywhere else in life. But yeah, and to be fair, look, if you're still listening, to be fair, unless you ask, you don't know. And in this particular case, unfortunately, the answer is no. So I don't begrudge people for asking per se, but for now, no discounts. And I lose about 30% of that anyway, just to taxes. Hey Stray, been a while, and Jason too. You're 50 years old in 70 minutes, we'll try and celebrate for you. Oh, Joseph, I do have to I had to find a balance somewhere, and I think originally the 79 was a bit too low, but it was an introductory type pricing. And now that that's over and done with, and 139, I'm comfortable with 139. It allows it to sort of get out there a bit more. It's not, and because it's a perpetual license too, so you don't have to keep buying it every year. What happened then? Yeah, what's going on there? I mean, that's a bit messed up, but it's still connected, and obviously this section here we don't even care about. Just make sure I don't have any shorts on those caps. I doubt I have, but... At the end of the day, I've got to make a profit. I've got to make a living. I'm the one that has to make sure there's food for the cats, food for me, food for everything. I've got to, try and buy the house, all that sort of stuff. And unfortunately, I'm not in a position to be able to be Mr. Altruistic, Mr. Philanthropist, or however the heck you pronounce that. Yeah, I'm just a regular Joe who's trying to make his way. Okay, that's good. I'm just verifying these things. Yeah, that wasn't even required. That's backlight. Oh, flip. Sorry, guys. Well, yes, AJ, there's all those people who still don't understand that schematics and board views are not included. But fortunately, the new questionnaire system is doing a good job in holding those people at bay. Just gonna have to keep checking around. I don't know whether I've got a damaged chip or what. Cap dark solder one side. There's a few of those, but I think it's just the camera misrepresenting them a fair bit. Yep, that's good. Okay, what value are you? Oh, you're meant to be 100k, aren't you? You're a pull-up. Yeah, like I said, it's starting to irritate me. Okay, you're the 680. Yeah. Ruslan, what would it take for you to make as much profit from your software as you get from the hardware work? Funnily enough, I actually probably make more on my software at the moment than I do on my hardware. So it really should be the other way around. What would it take for me to make as much on my hardware fixes as it would on the software? From components to ST pins exposed. Well, we can do things like this. Okay, but they're just... Okay, that one's good. That's good. Well, that's all good there. So they're all functional. I mean, to follow what? I mean, follow pins to components. Well, I mean, that was at least the first stage there means that we got continuity between the actual fingers in the reader to the board itself. Does the customer even use the SD stop? Probably not. Given the fact that it has never even got even the slightest scratch marks in there, you're right. They probably do not use it. But I can't let it go out with a dodgy SD. It's simply unacceptable. It must work. There's two pins that are for switch when you push in, is that activated? Yeah, I know the two you're talking about. We had some fun days hack job in that in the past, in one of my previous videos, where we tore apart the connector and checked all that stuff out. Happy birthday to the 50-year-old. You're halfway there. Now you got to work out what you're going to do with your next 50. Okay, so what we're going to do here is pick up the voltage again. Okay, so we now do not have anything in the slot. And we can see we've got our 3.3. So it is detecting that the card is being plugged in. We'll put it in, we should now be down to ground. And we are. So bulldoze time. Yeah. There is a small IC on the other side of the board, still one dot. Arnold, you're going to have to bring up the board view. You're talking about this one in the middle here. It's just got a bit of flux on the edge. That's making it look a bit dark, if that's what you're meaning. I wonder if the clocking's dodgy. Somehow I doubt it though. We're not even getting our 3.3. Ooh, that's it. Alright. Do you want to stick it on the back of that and I'll pick it up so you can scoot? Okay, everything okay up there? You burnt your finger? Oh no. Not your classic burn or... Jeez, on the metal bar. My wife, Alita, she can be... well, when we first were married, well actually before we were married, she has a habit of being a bit of a burn victim. Just for whatever reason anyway. So she'd have constantly in the kitchen and she'd have glorious events like getting plastic spatulas melted to her skin and then having to just disgusting stuff. Stuff that makes you cringe. Anyway, so she hasn't been doing that for a long time now, but seems like she just gave herself a little bit of a burn tonight, which is not good. Oh no, she gave me girly, what is this green stuff? Garnish. Yeah, I better eat it. If I don't eat it, I'll be in trouble. Oh, bitter. Yeah, it's not a happy lettuce, that one. All those oxalates now beating up my kidneys. AJ, pain isn't always a good teacher. For some people, they need other things. Jason, yes, she is an Australian. Just the same as I am. Why did YouTube hide your comment, Jason? Hey Tim Schumann, yeah, I've been a bit erratic lately with the streams. The COVID-19, although it's not directly affecting this town in terms of there's no people in the town that have it, though funnily enough Townsville does now. But the impact on delivery schedules is just That's really throwing everything out. Hmm. At least if I get the lettuce out of the way quickly, I can enjoy the deliciousness of the toasted chicken sandwich. Where did Pilnov go? He's supposed to be telling me how to fix this. Okay, Roy, thank you very much for being here. Enjoy your day. Ah, beautiful toasties. It's hard to get good boerewors here. If I had a choice, I'd probably get biltong. Of course, we'd only pretty much get beef biltong here. You do get roux biltong, but it's not really any good because it's so dry. Kangaroo's like ostrich; it just has no fat in it. Uh, I mean, good luck trying to get kudu biltong in this country. Ha, no chance. You might be able to get springbok or bocky biltong, but yeah, mostly it's just going to be beef. Oh, I don't know, that closed down. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, ostrich and kangaroo, they're very lean meat, very interesting color, particularly ostrich, that purple color. But the trouble is, you've got to lace it with so much oil and herbs and everything just to get some flavor out of it. It's kind of like a blank slate for a carnivore's blank slate. Nando's, we do have a Nando's in Townsville. The only trouble is they don't seem to understand Afrikaans when I walk in there, which it kind of kills the whole the whole spirit of it. But they're pretty good, and it is fairly well matched. Like if you get the extra hot peri peri, then it is pretty much extra hot. So thankfully they've got that consistent as opposed to like KFC. Pardon me, like KFC here in Australia is so different to KFC in South Africa. It's like ugh. South African one is just terrible. Tofu of meat, that's pretty close to it, yeah. Probably the only thing more tofu-y than ostrich or kangaroo would probably be crocodile. Crocodile is, it's a bizarre, it's kind of like it's like fish meets chicken, and but tasteless. It's very strange meat. Harold, your sales of the CMI Zapper and the Tercius, I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry, your GPU killer, have they been going up a bit lately, hopefully? Because I've been trying hard to get things rolling over there. Now, I think I'll give a pass on that one from Shinjuku. Okay, Barry, you like gator tail. What do you cook it with? Like I said, it's really more of a texture item. It's like protein tofu, so to speak. Yeah, it's just, yeah. Which SSC? Steve K, the ones that I get at the moment are the Transcend Jet Drive 820s. They are reliable, they work with the sleep feature. I haven't had any troubles with them. They seem to be coming down in price a bit too. Okay, sales of Chipmunk and the GPU killers are up. Excellent. That's really good. I'm pleased to hear that. Okay, Barry, maybe I'll have to try it again, but a couple of times I had it, it was not appealing to me. Maybe it was raw and I didn't know. And I mean, when I was over there, I tried a lot of different things. Oh, Steve Cave, you mean normal PC? Oh, in that case, what is it? Samsung Evo 860s, I think, or 850s. Barry, a bit late now. That was like 20 years ago. 20 years ago, what was it? 15,000 kilometers away. No, 860, right? Thanks. Definitely avoid the QVO ones. I don't know what Samsung was thinking when they brought out the QVO. If I had seen the performance stats of the QVO as Samsung, I would not have put that product out to market with my brand on it. QVO is just horrible. Sydney for parts and tools. It depends what tools you're after. The Hacko equipment I get from Mectronics. Yeah, Mectronics in Australia. A lot of my other stuff I get from Element 14. And looks like Mahoy Tarosa needs to get kicked. And let's see. Other stuff I get from Union Repair. Looks like I'm going to have to do the kick. Because they're frickin' moron people. Ah, damn it. Jim got it. MSI versus Alienware. Who wins? I'd probably go Alienware. Octec, I haven't personally had any troubles with Union Repair myself. I've always had them, everything gets delivered. Where there can be some troubles is if you're living in a rural area like I am and they try to send it through DHL and DHL says, "No, get stuff, we want another $50 for the delivery," even though you're right next to the delivery centre. In which case they usually send it through, what's that new company, Amtrak or something like that, R-Track. Anyway, that's who they use now. The other downside of Union Repair is that they will not ship fluids anymore. Aramex, thank you. Alright. Get some metho into our bloodstream. Best company for gaming. I'm not the guy to ask for that stuff because I don't do gaming. Yeah, Aramex bought out Fastway. Yeah, I've noticed that. There's another company in Australia that one of my suppliers uses. I'm trying to think who they are again. Sendle. And I don't know what Sendle's doing at the moment, but they are taking forever to get things to me. It's been 2 weeks for a parcel that should have been here in 2 days. Yeah, Rustlin, I know it's sort of comes Sunday night and I'm stuffed. Alright, so I'm trying to work out why the SD isn't working on this. No chocolate for me? What? Why ever not? Why? Why no chocolate for me? My wife is abusing me. She won't give me chocolate for dessert. Won't even tell me why. Just says no. Captain Diabetes. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Can you test the clock on this one? Yes, I can. I was ignoring you? Where was I ignoring? Is she... what? Where did I ignore you? Where did I ignore you? I didn't see anything. Nothing beeped on my screen. Question mark. Man, I'm gonna have to bring out the sob tears and everything here now. Huh. Scroll up. What? Chicken is cooking. Oh, wow, how did I not see that? Okay. I am justifiably in trouble. Typical life of a man. Can I have chocolate and juice? Can I have chocolate and juice? Asselblief? I don't know if she's listening to me at the same time as I'm writing this. What do you think of the Crucial BX 500 2.5 inch the BX 5 orange? Okay. Oh, she is listening. Hello, Elita, hidden there in the shadows. Whoops, I kind of pulled the curtain away, didn't I? My bad. Yeah, this isn't board repair. I do apologize. This is marital life 101. I can't say that. Needs to say I'm going to be punished, apparently. Oh well. That sort of satisfies the masochist in me, I guess. Make her a new cover of the book. No, I don't want to make another cover. Not so soon. I already used up 10 minutes making the first one. Anyway. Right, what, the clock? Right, yes, we've got to check the clock. I guess what I'm wondering is, what's the sequence for the 3 volt to be sent? Okay, I see the clock crystal is actually there. Okay. Well, I might have to bring out the... what frequency are you running at? 25 megahertz. I'm going to have to bring out the scope. How old was I when I met my wife? I was 27. Yes, that's right. 27. Oh, just got back from Africa. And I wanted to go play some squash. And I was in this dinky little town, which I'm still in. It's like Hotel California here. Anyway, so I was in this town and I went down to the squash court, and a leader was there, being the person tending the squash court, but make sure that people paid the money. It was a gym as well. And as I walked into the door, went down the corridor, I saw her being the receptionist there. And the first thing that comes to my mind is, I wonder if this could be my wife. Yep, that was one of those legitimate weird ones. And then, yeah, we got married that year. Yeah, squash, as in sports squash, as opposed to vegetable squash. Nasty vegetables. Oh, she's here. Right. Okay. Now I'm in trouble. For sure. Yes, it was rather love at first sight. One of those very rare scenarios. So do not consider that to be the way of the world, because you'll most likely not have that happen. Then again, love at first sight is one thing, but for many people it can turn into disdain after a few more years. But fortunately not for us. And we actually live together all the time. Family Guy, Peter met Lois. I don't know that one. I mean, I know the Family Guy, but I don't know the the history, so to speak, of it, of how they met. Alright. You better give me power. Uh-huh. Hey, Q's. Let's see. Was I a cradle snatcher? No, I would say she was stealing me from the grave. Yeah. This ain't gonna be pretty, folks. I'm sorry. This is gonna be purely a case of I'm gonna be satisfying my own inspection, and I'm not gonna be able to give anyone else the look in. Crikey, how the heck am I supposed to see this? I need a microscope. Getting my chocolate and juice now. Awesome. Looks like I've... there's a test pad after all. Okay, test pad, channel 1. We've got channel 1. We got a clock that's doing something really funny. Auto set. Well, we're not clocking. Let's see, 1.3. We're definitely not clocking. Nothing. Took me 3 days to capture the power device signal on the USB-C. Oh man. Yeah, that's dedication for you. Okay, well, so we definitely don't seem to have any kind of clocking activity. Oh, what have we got there? We've got some intermittent signal, which is... Oh, okay, the other one might be the ground point. We're only about 300 hertz, so that's really weird. Okay, no, we got 25 megahertz. It's I was just on the wrong pin. So yeah, 25 megahertz looks like around about 1.5 volt peak to peak. Oh, sorry, 1.2 volt peak to peak. It's pretty sloshy, but I am loading it with the meter. Oh, you can have that then.
No, I don't need it.
You done? You sure you don't want it? Okay. Because you know I'll just consume that willingly like a... Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's not much point. I'll be a heathen and just drink out of the bottle. I love you. Mm. Anyway, so we're good there. Let me show the waveform. So there you go. Not really what you'd call a square wave, but then it's not supposed to be really out of a crystal clock. Not exactly a sine wave either, but then, like I said, it could be loaded by my probe. So we do have 25 megahertz there. Kind of curious why it wasn't on the other side. I guess it must be just the ground. Interesting. Right, there was a whole lot of setup for that little test. I mean, it didn't look the greatest, but at the same time, it's, like I said, I don't know what the loading of these are. It's only on X1. Well, we can have a look at another clock, so we can say, look at this one over here. Glasses. E. Okay, one of these are gonna be what I'm after. Not you, you're 2 hertz. Not you either. Where's my freaking 25 megahertz out of here? So this should be 32 kilohertz. Yeah, so that's 32 kilohertz. And that's sort of more what you'd expect. But to be fair, that is generated by the chip itself. It's not what's coming out of here. Where the hell do they hide the signal on this one? Hey JCT. Yeah, it's meant to be blinking. We don't have a problem. The board boots. The board works all just fine. I'm merely looking at this clock for the sake of comparing, that's all. There's nothing there. What I don't understand here is that I cannot get my 25 megahertz off this crystal. But I am getting the 32 kilohertz out, so I don't know. Not sure why. Change the loading. Oh, there we go, it was the loading. So put it to by 10. Okay, so we get a nice, what you'd expect from a crystal clock. Nice sine wave, 25 megahertz. So I might go try that other one again and see if we get a better waveform. Yeah, we do. It was because I had it on the wrong setting on the probes. So that looks much better. So yeah, no complaints there. The impedance pickup, the capacitance pickup impedance, whatever, blah 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 blah. On this was too high. When I had it on the by 1, I had to switch it to by 10. What was that? Harold said something about the scope? Oh, right, the bandwidth. Well, there you go. got there in the end. Well, we don't know about U45. We have replaced U4500, but we don't know if... yeah, what's going on? I need to get my chocolate now, which means I've got to change my gloves. This is why I buy boxes of these gloves. I think I've got about 5 boxes left of 300. Nice Lindt orange chocolate. I have already tested the SD card in the... Yeah, you can't see it. There's an iMac behind me. It comes up just fine. Remember, the problem is we're not getting 3 volts to the card at the moment for some reason. I think it's about 70%. So it's still consumer-friendly type chocolate. When I first got back to Australia, I couldn't get Swiss Lindt anywhere. But then finally it started showing up, and it was obviously very popular. And yeah, now it's everywhere. But when I first got back here in 2000, all I had was my stash from South Africa, nothing else. Should reuse some of the less used gloves. Yeah, it's probably more drama than it's worth. What I would like to find though is there must be a place where you can surely get them melted down or something, turned into contraceptives perhaps. Could you hardwire 3 into the SD card? Possibly. I'm just not sure what sort of consequence that would have. The test for a short, I have not, so I may as well do that. Or at least I don't think I have. I might have, I don't know. Yeah, so many questions. I can't do this for too much longer, it's already past midnight and I do need to try and be a mature and responsible human being and get to bed at a reasonable hour. Now that's coming up as an open circuit in spite of the fact that the multimeter software says otherwise. Should get diode mode. I gotta turn that beeper off. I don't know why it beeps at 0.3. So yeah, 0.33, that's perfectly normal. Capacitor resistors on the 3-volt input. Well, if we're getting a clock on U4500, then that would make me think that it must be operating okay. So like, this is the clock that we just tested, and we get now 25. And what we're not getting is this 3-volt here. What's this? Pin 43, pin 43. We'll have a look. Right, this cluster here. 0.36, so definitely no short there. Yeah, maybe the chip's not sitting down properly. I don't know. It's also though a little interesting that we're basically not we're getting the same behavior as the previous chip. That's what bothers me. So normally, if you put a chip on a little bit whacked, then typically it should behave a little bit differently than the previous one. But I suppose all we're getting to see at the moment is the absolute effect. Okay, that doesn't exist. As far as I know, this is working fine. Is this if you run down to U4550? U4550, what? Where the hell's U4550? Oh, right. Oh, that chap. Right. We'll have a look. Okay, we'll test that one. That's a good suggestion. Bring up voltage. Plug it in and see what behavior we get, okay? Sometimes it's easier just to test it in the live. Let's see. First thing I'm going to do is pin 1. Make sure we've got our voltage there. Looks like 2 inputs. Should be good. Okay, we've got our 3.3, so we do have voltage. SD power enable. There's one we haven't checked. Pin 2. Ugly. Comes straight from the CPU. That's bad news. So the top. We do have enables. Thank God for that. And pin 5. Yeah, brilliant. Can't get in under that one. Okay, 5 and 6. Let's trace it up. Crikey. This thing goes all over the board. Oh, lovely. It goes all the way up here and disappears. Let's see if we can just jab under it. No. Let's give it a little bit of a scratch. Vampire tap method. Okay, so we do have 3.3. Okay, Harold, thanks for dropping in. Appreciate that. And everybody, if you want to get like one of the zappers, the USB chipmunk testers, or you want to get the 15-inch, 17-inch GPU fix tools for the 2915s, etc., then check out Harold's CMI Zapper website. It's on my web page for tools as well. Hey, what's the bet this is working now? No, no bet. crap. Definitely a chipmunk's well worth getting. So yeah, we're getting power and all that, and that, well, okay, that makes sense because we are getting power to the U4500. That there does not count, it's not even in the picture. What's this SD reset L41? Okay, that's not pliable, it's high. I thought maybe it might have just been, yeah. So I guess the question is, why is it not producing this power? Is there a circuit where the voltage is split running to it? Not that, as far as I can tell from what Pernov said, we should be getting the 3 volts in here, and then when it's ready it should come out here. C4550, and we're just not getting that. It knows that the card's inserted. So pin 20. So it's this little this thing here. And yeah, so it knows the card's inserted. Well, it could be the 4550. I'm just a little confused by that because we already replaced it. But I'll do it again. It's not an impossible, never happened before situation. It is a little weird though. It could just be bad soldering on my behalf. Who knows? I'll get another one just in case. I normally don't bother with shields, but because this is right next to the SD connector, I don't want to take the chance. Because when those suckers melt, believe me, you may as well just find another board. Now, I would normally be concerned about this here. Perhaps there could have been a bridging there, but these are NCs to the best of my knowledge. So pit 2, 3, so 12 and 13. Yeah, they're all listed NC. What's on the other side of the 4550 backside? Nothing, just these chips. So I'm just going to have another look. Maybe I missed a break in one of the traces. Seems unlikely. So that's our card detect there. Just going to preheat the board a bit. Arnold, we had a look at the pins before and they are absolutely immaculate. It would be hard to find a cleaner SD connector ever. I mean, I suppose you could then lead in and say, well, maybe there's a varnish on them. I mean, hey, you might have a point there. But I think the thing that makes me not go for that route is the fact that it's detecting the car, but it's still not giving us the 3 volts. Bottom right round copper looks possibly... that is more of just... What you're seeing there is where the conformal coat ends. The conformal coat ends and then... yeah, it's a bit of a step off to the trace. And so in the monoscopic view, it makes it look like it's broken, but it's not. But I mean, I completely agree. It's even with the microscope, yeah, me right here with it, it can still catch me out. It could be something with the SMC, but we never even see it try to turn on the 3.3 volts. It never even starts. It just doesn't do anything. If it sort of glitched, powered it up and then shut down, then I would be looking at communication lines, things like that. But when it won't even start giving out the 3 volts, then I'm kind of like, well, I don't know what's going on there. We haven't tried another SD card, but like I said, we do know this one works. I normally use this one all the time for my testing. It takes a long time for that to cool back down. We'll give it another heat just to let it find its resting position. As far as I can see, it's pretty good though. $45.80. Oh, whoops. Oh, 45.80. Oh, no. I'll be very surprised the crystal was doing it. Given that we are getting a proper full swing and properly formed clock, I'd say no. Whew, that's warm. No prior repair on this one. It came in with backlight issue. We fixed that up. Extensive liquid damage, very weird oily type liquid damage. Everything else works just fine now, just not the SD. If this doesn't work, I'm going to go try another SD card. No, something's still not working by the looks of it. Because if it was, it would have brought up, or at least I theorise it should have brought up my option to boot from the SD. Hello. Yeah, so we've got a blinking folder. I'll boot into the macOS system. Ah, I know why it's not. But we tested that before, didn't we, though, without. Oh. I know why it didn't go that time. Because there's no keyboard connected. This is when you know it's time to finish up for the night and tackle it the next day. When you do doofus things like that. I'm fairly sure when we tested it before, we tested it with it all completely in here like this, because I remember we took away the flux and things like that. We don't need a piece of solder in there, that's going to be quite unwanted. Crossflex. We can do without the fan for a little while, certainly long enough for us to test this. So it takes a while because it is the 3437. Tryptonite or tryptophan? Okay, remember this is the USB stick, this is not the SD card. We'll plug this in now and see if it shows up. Oh yeah, fan's spinning. The virtual fan is spinning. Whoops, spat a bit of food there. SMC may have something to do with it. I'm not 100% sure in all honesty. It talks USB 3 straight to the CPU though. Replace your iPhone 6 screen plus screen. Took me 10 minutes to do it. These days it feels like it's a trivial process. I can see why the iPhone 11s are very quick to replace. They're just very expensive to replace though. 4 SPI data lines on the chip. Well, I can see the USB 3 SDD2R NMPs, and they all go straight to the CPU. I should bring up disk. Yeah, maybe it can't see it. Maybe it. I'll be very surprised, but maybe it can't see it. Let's have a look at the. What's that tool called? Disk something. Disk utility. Duh. No, we don't know. No. I'm just checking to see. Maybe I've been chasing a fault that doesn't exist. Show all devices. No. It's definitely not detecting it. It's showing me my USB stick. Plug in the SD. Nothing. Even if it didn't understand the format of the disk, it should still detect the disk, the SD card. Check if the card reader is detected. About the Mac details. Alright. About the Mac. Idiot Paul. System report. Card reader. Yeah, it can detect the card reader. Vendor, blah 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 blah. It actually doesn't say much about it. It just says vendor ID is 5AC, product ID is 8406, revision 3, serial 820. Reset non-volatile RAM. Stephen, yep, if I put this card into the iMac behind me, it comes straight up. MV RAM reset. That's a real please bro option, isn't it? I mean, I could clean the contacts, but again, why aren't we getting the 3 volts? That's what I want to know. Anyway, let's do an NVRAM reset. Oh, I can do that from console. NVRAM minus C. Pseudo NVRAM. Soro. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's done. So restart. And if this doesn't work, I'm off to bed. And I will tackle it again tomorrow. Reset SMC. That's going to be a real pain to do while I'm half disassembled like this. I'll have to reassemble it a bit better. Well, NVRAM's definitely been reset. Oh, Jason, what a splendid way to spend your first hour of your 50. Something memorable. Me not fixing an SD card problem. Power option controls. Yeah, the problem is that the problem is that because all of this is exposed, I can't really just lie it flat on the ground so that I can press all the keys. Percussive maintenance, that will about do it. I may just have to do a clean sweep of all those discretes and check all the traces again. It could be one trace. No, I don't know. It could be so many things. It's like I said, it's just very strange that I'm not getting the 3 volts to the card, which is totally understandable then that the system can't see the card. Put it in for infrared oven. Yeah. Sounds like an excellent Please Bros solution. Okay, we're not getting anywhere. Alright, that's it. That's it for tonight. I'm sorry. We'll have to make this a part 3 tomorrow, which I'll probably do on my own so that I don't have annoying backseat repairers telling me what I shouldn't do. But, just kidding. I love yous all. No, I don't. Yeah. Nick, the thing is, we are getting the detect of the device. So it is detecting the device is being inserted correctly. It is sending that signal correctly, but it's not giving us our 3 volts to the SD card. So it's detecting, but it's not then sending the power to the card to start the process of finding out what's on the card, if there's anything in there, stuff like that. So that's why, and it can't be the chip because we've now run our 3rd chip. So I'm not sure what other parameters are required by the controller chip for it to send out that 3 volts. So I might see if I can find a data sheet for that particular chip. And with the data sheet I can have a look at it, see what its input parameters are for it to get into that state, and then I can test from there. How's detecting we're not showing because the detection is just the physical contact switch to ground. Yeah, that's all. Anyway, I'm out of here, so thank you very much. John Lockhart, just see you turn up. But maybe tomorrow. We'll wait and see. Until then, you'll take care. I'm going to go and get a shower and some sleep and watch some trash TV. I'll see you next time.